Well, we surely didn't have to promote her to speak.
I was just thinking I talked too fast.
No. And again, and she's excited, and we talk fast, and all that takes place.
And we've been sitting for
That's right. Nicely said. So, but she has said, you know, in form, the wizard actually looks different, wears different clothes, and acts different. So we have trouble in relationship because we've made a change and don't know it. One minute we're gregarious, the next minute we're inward. People are like, what's your problem? You're right out here. We're like, excuse me? Oh, I'm not out now? So it's a learning for us as well. So that's why having a formula that you can say, hey, like, so where are you? And you can say, wow, you know, I think I just moved to my unicorn nature. I didn't realize, but you're so right. But really our underbelly here, the underbelly that helps the gregariousness be even more accepted is that angelic nature. And each nature has certain items that really strike them. And for the angelic, it's kindness. So although she's wizard, when she uses her foundation underneath her and truly just comes from listening and her kindness and just sharing all she is, people get it. They really get, they've been supported, absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I go in and out of my exercise program. I need this kind of support. I need folks to say, come on, Jeanie, Roy, you can do it. Oh, good, because some days I'm not sure I can. So we just appreciate that. So, all right, so we have two of them here. And we have the third over here, Miss Wonderful, Janine Corbell. I put that purposely because you are. And she represents the fairy kingdom. And really, but even it's a fairy nature. And it really is, because these are the people that are reminding us that life is not meant to be serious every moment of every day. It is not meant to be death-defying. It's not meant to scare us to death every minute of every day. So we need a nature that's prime in knowing how to play, how to lighten up. And one time someone gave me the base definition of enlightenment, and that to do that means simply lighten up. You don't have to tell a fairy that. They're like, what? So before we started here, we blew some bubbles and we're all, you know, waving the wand. And of course our wonderful fairy here just gets up and blows on it and there's all these bubbles. And we're like, wow, you know, that's pretty clever. But, you know, it's that kind of thing. They do the obvious to remind us how easy life's to be, how fun life is to be, and to appreciate and be grateful for our friends, for our life, for our health. And again, that's another element you get here at the studio, is that you're going to be validated that you showed up here. You showed up because you want more health, you want more wellness, you want more community, you want more family. Hey, maybe you just want to be supported. You know, there's just a whole bunch of folks that just haven't had a lot of that. So that's what you're going to get here. And although these are only 3 instructors, they got a lot of wonderful instructors here, so I'd be surprised if you don't find 1 or 2 that you really resonate with. Very joyous, very committed, very well trained, and very with you. So I want to mention that this young lady, she actually was born in Germany, and I don't know about you, I've traveled there. Their sense of responsibility is strong, their sense of purpose and focus. I just noticed that a lot while I was there. And she has that highly responsible nature. And it was interesting because when we worked together, it really was like startling even to her to realize if she's only in responsibility, it is just not fun. It's not worth being here, doing anything. So she's reminded herself that every day we need some fun and play. Every day we need a little laughter or silliness, for heaven's sakes. That's not reserved just for children. So the childlikeness in the adult, that's what this nature provides for us. And she speaks through the mental doorway. So we're going to give her a minute here. I'm just going to ask her, Miss Jeanie, okay,
yes,
and having experienced this kind of work and looking at your essence and base of communication. So how would you say this has added to your vibrancy in life?
Well, when I met Jeanie, I pretty much had forgotten about that essence. I was all about routine. I was all about doing everything right all the time. There was no fun, no joy, and I just felt weighted down. And when I met Jeanie, she reminded me to bring joy back in my life, to go back to the things that I love to do, to play with my daughter, to go and enjoy nature, to see how my clients improve, how much they love me, to really see those things and acknowledge them, which I forgot a lot of times. I forgot too often to do that. So working with her and allowing me to be a little bit lighter, to have more fun and play was huge. It changes everything. It changed my outlook, and it gave me, at that point, it gave me a lot of hope. So for me, what I took away from is that I just need to make sure that I find some sort of fulfillment and in every day of my life. So my soul can sing, so I can dance through life, and so I don't feel like my wings are clipped and I'm just going to, you know, I can do it, I can do it, I can focus on being responsible, and I can have a routine, I can do it perfectly. But while I do it, I feel nothing, I'm nothing, I feel like my wings are clipped. And so, but when I add that spark, when I add that little bit of fun and make things light, everything just kind of falls into place.
Yay.
Yay.
The interesting thing over here on the fairy nature, as I mentioned, we had underbellies. So the underlying nature for her is dwarvian, which is a person, male or female, who is very stable. They do things at a steady pace, and that's what she's saying. I can do it according to how we're supposed to be done. So literally, she was camped out too much in her opposite. And not surprising, fairy and dwarvian natures represent opposites. If you have one in the relationship steady and one bouncing around, they're designed to appreciate the opposite. Bring the dwarvian nature up, more joyful, and let the fairy have a little more sense of stability behind her joyous experience. So again, a lot of this will enter into your relationships and your friends and certainly in your families, because there's a family dynamic side that I call imaginetics, or the genetics of magic, that really does show how these essence affect how the family interacts. You know, if you can imagine a wizard child, particularly with, say, a unicorn parent, they'll run right over. The unicorn will go screaming from the room. So it's worth knowing, just not that it's set, it just gives you a chance to say, wow, here's some tendency, like, wow, let me say, how could I deal with that kind of a thing. So just try to help us all, first of all, to really get out from under anybody's judgments or expectations of us. Help us to get out from under our childhood training, and maybe even offer some possibilities we just haven't thought of because we've been busy guarding and having to deflect the energies. So none of this is against anybody. It's just saying that maybe in this tremendous times, we say in the next couple of years things are changing. Some have said, oh my gosh, the world as we know it may come to an end. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, I think that might be a good thing. The world as we know it, separate, judging, having to defend, everybody get their little niche, might be over. Maybe we'll remember, I don't know that person in China, but if I do myself better, maybe someone they know will help them more. It's like it's all connected and linked up. I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but I think as humans we're in this game together. So maybe that's the change we're coming up to, and that certainly would be an end of the world as we know it. So I just want you to know we're so happy to have you be with us today, and I just want to say I've either piqued your interest or I've confused you up the kazoo, and one of the two are possible. So I'm going to invite you, if you like, to visit my webpage, which is beinghumananddivine.com. Or you can contact me on Facebook via my email address, which is balancing_arts@yahoo.com. Or if you just feel like it, Google me. It's Jeanie Lemaire. And I want to say one thing too. I remember one time Marianne Williamson saying, you know, playing small, that's easy. Not disturbing people, hey, you know, we can all do that. But living large, living as your full self, aspiring to things that may or may not happen, that takes courage. That takes risk, and that's what these ladies are doing. They're getting outside their training, outside their habit energy, and finding that they're liking themselves a whole lot more too. Yeah. So we like them, but you know, if someone doesn't like themselves, it's hard to get that news in. So again, thanks for being with us, and please join me or join them. We'd love to see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys. Hug times. Hug times. You're so sweet. Thank you. Yay! Thank you. Thanks for being here.
That was good, right?
That was so great. Super, Miss Leslie.